Hello, everyone. Hey, guys. How you guys doing? Happy Tuesday. Today is May 7th, 2024. So much stuff going on here. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for hanging out and joining us. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're here, I'd love to know who's here. So if you just say hello, and if this is your first time, maybe you're new to Leeloo, maybe this is your first time hanging out with us, will you just let me know this is your first time? That will also help, so I know who the audience is and who I'm talking to, and that will help. So today's show is really focused towards new traders to Leeloo. So maybe you just joined recently, and if you got questions, this is a great time to ask those questions as well. And so we just have to always to keep everything respectful and don't promote any other company, don't promote your company or anything like that. Um, and yes, so great time to ask questions. So let me get started here. I want to say hi to a couple people. Wafa, what's going on? Good to see you. You are one of the regulars, so appreciate you being here like always. So thanks for coming out. Nan Rick says hello. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. All right. And just before I get going here, I just want to be sure you guys can hear me okay. So if you can let me know if the sound is good, then we are good to go. And I see that we already have a question, so I'll be answering that here in a minute, just to be sure we have a sound check before I start. So thank you guys for hitting that like button. Appreciate it. So, and again, guys, this is the time where, I always tell people you can ask any question. I think it's always important when you ask questions that it's not in a demanding way, but in an understanding way, So you may ask, well, why do you guys do this? Or why do you run this promotions? Or why don't you run this promotions? Instead of being like a demand, it's like, hey, run this promotions, right? You see the difference. So, okay, Nanrick says we can hear you, so we're good to go. All right. Johnson Shepard says, do you have any weekly account sales coming? Um, well, good question, and the answer is I don't know. So, um, regarding future sales, we as a team talk about those. So right now, I don't think we have one coming up like right away. Um, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be one. So, but yeah, good question. And sorry, I don't know the answer yet on that. So, Ikram says hi everyone. Hello, Salah Bayi says hello. Good to see you guys. Who's here for the first time? Do we have any first time visitors hanging out with us? Any somebody who recently joined Leeloo for the first time, or new to Leeloo? Maybe you've joined in the last month or two. If that's you, I'd love to know if you're here and if you have any questions. Um, Please let me know. Sakarabara says hello. Good to see you. All right, so I'm going to ask a poll here. So let me get that going while you guys go in. And as you guys are coming in, if you can hit that like button, that'd be great. Who here trades supply and demand zones? Anybody? I want to know. I'm gonna take a poll here. All right. I'm really bad at talking and texting at the same time. So there we go. Let's try that. Okay, I just started a poll. Love to for you to answer that poll. Let's see what we got here. So, technology says okay. Let's see. First time here. Oh, is the P silent Sonic brother? Sonic brother. Is that right? Am I saying that right? and tangential technologies. I've seen you before. Um, you were here last time. So, but you're fairly new. Is that what you're saying? And by the way, guys, if we can get 75 people to give us a thumbs up and to be watching, I'm gonna break out a great deal for you guys. So if you know anybody, let me know. Yeah. So listen, I am so bad, and I'm like, I was very self conscious about it growing up, but I have a problem with my speech, and there's certain things I can't say properly. And I used to always be very conscious about it. I took, speech therapy and everything. Um, and I just came to understand that, that's who I am. And, I wasn't going to let me help. Now I can talk. Let me, be held back. And so, I just kind of go with it, and I'm okay if I mispronounce things. I don't do it on purpose, and I don't in any way mean it to offend anyone. And so, yeah, so I apologize if I really screw up your name or your screen name or your username. But please know it's me trying really hard. So, so no, not you, kind of brother. I'm talking about the technologies guy. I think he was here last time. So no, no, not you. I don't remember seeing you. So welcome. That's really cool. Welcome aboard. So, all right. Any questions about Leeloo? Any questions about any of our rules or how to get payouts or how to trade, how to get started? What platforms you can use. So anything like that, this is a great time to ask. And let's see how the poll is doing. So I asked the poll, who uses supply and demand zones to trade? 35% of you said yes, I do. 47% says I don't, and 18% says I don't know what those are. So okay, pretty good numbers. Um, okay, so it's good to see you live. I did watch you some videos, but not live. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, and you've been here a couple times. Cool. That's a good question. All right, so we have a question from Sonic brother that says, "What account size do you think is the best?" Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you from two things. Um, uh, I'm gonna tell you one from my point of view, and then one from what traders tend to do best in. So, from my point of view, I think the $150,000 account is the best one. Okay, and I can tell you. Let me tell you why. Let me go to the Leeloo website. Bring that information up for you here. Okay, so we got the Leeloo website here. All right, and let me just accept all. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the foundation. Where's that? Okay, right here. So you guys can see. The question is, which is the best one? In my uh, in my opinion, and based on the way I trade, I like the $150,000 one. And one of the reasons is if when I'm trying to qualify, the profit target to qualify is $9,000, but my trailing drawdown is 5,000. So that's a really good ratio, giving you a lot of room to be wrong. But the best part is when you do qualify, right? You don't have to worry about profit targets in any of those, but you have a 5,000 trailing drawdown. If you start slow with micros or even with one contract, even though it says you can trade 15, if you were to start small, $5,000 is a lot of room. That gives you a lot of opportunity. Now, there's nothing wrong with the other ones. I've traded all of them. The 25,000 is, I would say, my second favorite. I like the ratio, the 1,500 to 1,500, but I like this on the practice account phase. But then I tend to regret, and I hate to use the word regret. I tend to be like, oh man, I should have gone with the 150 once you qualify. So at first, when you think about qualifying, you look at the profit target, right? You look at 1,500, 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, whatever, 15, 20,000. But after you qualify, what really matters is that trailing drawdown. And for the money and for the room for I think for being wrong and giving you a chance, I think this is the best one in my opinion. So now, from traders' point of view, the 25,000 is the most popular. And also, just they do great in payouts, and they do great in a lot of people buy that one, and they do well. The 50,000, it's popular, um, and we see people do well in that. And then we have some people that like, let's see, which is the other one? The 300K. Not it's not for everyone. I've gone to the 300K, and in fact, when I did trade with Leeloo, that was the one that I ended up with the most payouts because I ended up trading the longest. Um, but I think it was just because I ended up going that way. But like I said, I think the 150K now. But again, it goes to you. So now we're just talking about um, profit targets and trailing drawdown. But I think another important part is the price. So if you have a budget of $1,000 a month, okay, that really, and let's say that you're trying to, let's say you have $1,000 a month budget, and you tend to trade two full contracts. I'm going to tell you that this is not the answer. That's not the answer. And I would even say that's not the answer. I would say you need to be in one of those. Let's say that you tend to trade micros, and you have a budget of $1,000 a month. Then I would say you can be in any account. But at that point, I would say you can be in any of those three and those four. I would say those four right there. Okay. Um, if you tend to go heavier on contracts, you got to go to the big one. Otherwise, you're just going to, I think the other ones are going to be too small. So otherwise for that. So, hey guys, hold on 1 second if you guys don't mind. Okay, I apologize for that. So everything really comes down to, in my opinion, to understanding your budget. Your If I were to start brand new, and I think this can apply to anyone. So if you've been trading for months or however long, this can apply to you if you're not doing this. But everyone needs to understand their budget first. Okay, why? Well, your budget is going to determine how long you're going to be able to take the time to learn to trade. Okay. Now, if you're a seasoned trader and you know how to trade and you're phenomenal, then this doesn't matter. So I'm talking about for those of us that are in our journey of trading, that we're growing as traders, we're either just getting started, or we're in the early stages, or we're somewhere in the middle. Okay. So this is for like 95% of you. um, and understanding your budget first. What does that mean? Okay. The longer you can expand your budget to last, the greater chance that gives you the opportunity to learn how to trade. All right. So, give you an example. We don't know, no one knows, you don't know, I don't know how long it's going to take you to learn how to trade. Okay. You may find out that it's not for you. You may find out that it is for you, but it's going to take you 14 months. It may take you 3 months. We don't know. And I think it's probably unwise to say, oh, I'm going to learn in 3 months. Well, I mean, can you learn in 3 months? Sure. Are you going to learn in 3 months? Who knows? So, because we don't know how long it would take you or me or anyone to learn how to trade, we have to say, okay, whatever my budget is, I got to extend that the max that I can. Okay. Now, if money is not an issue to you, if you just have, a great amount of money that, you can say, Chris, I can spend $1,000 a month, no problem, for the rest of my life, then, you still have a budget, obviously, but everyone has a budget. But obviously, yours is one that will give you the freedom to trade to learn potentially for as long as you need to. But not everyone is like that, right? So whatever your budget is, how can we extend the life of that budget? All right. Because here's an example. What we don't want, okay, and I'm going to talk about me personally. What I don't want, let's say that my budget is, I'm going to use simple numbers here. I'm just going to kind of make this up. I'm going to use a calculator. Let's say that my budget is $5,000, okay? I have $5,000 to spend on learning how to trade, all right? That's the money I put aside that I said, no matter what, I'm not going to miss this money if I lose everything, whatever. I'm going to use this for education, all right? So instead of me opening up an account, a private account, and putting $5,000 and start trading, which would not be a good idea because most likely you will lose everything. I will lose everything. I'm going to use a company like Leeloo to learn how to trade with the potential of getting real payouts. So how can I stretch this budget out? Well, one of the ways I have to look at it is, okay, well, how much does an account cost? Well, here are our foundation accounts. And our most affordable one is $150 a month. So if we were to just take that money and say, okay, we got 5,000 divided by $150 a month, and I'm just rounding some stuff out. That gives me 33 months, okay? 33 months to learn how to trade. That's about a little over 2 years, almost 3 years, okay? So that's, that's okay. But I want to give myself more time, all right? Because it took me 3 years. Actually, it took me almost 4 years to learn how to trade successfully. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to, and this is why we came up with this account, the LE entries, for example. Now, I'm going to take that same account from before. So I have $5,000. I'm going to divide that by $26 a month. And then divide that by 12. And that's 16 years. Okay. That's a little too stretched. I'm not going to spend 16 years learning. But now I have 16 years worth of money for my budget to learn with this account. Now, so that's a little, that gives me a lot more freedom. So I can actually go higher. So going back to 5,000, going back to my favorite account size, let's say the 150. So I'm going to divide that by 70 a month, divide that by 12 2 years. And now that gives me about 6 years. That's more my type right there. So, and there's some comments here. So let me read the comments. Let me pause here for a second. Let me read some comments here. It says, somebody says the hardest one is the 300K. Yeah, I think you're right. Unless, you tend to trade high contracts. Wi-Fi Emoneri says, I think Leeloo's birthday is coming up soon. Yep. The 19th, we'll get offers on the occasion. Absolutely. We're going to have a big birthday celebration. So, yes, thank you for remembering. And yes, we will. El Mahdi Mohammed says, hello, everyone. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Welcome back. Well, I thought trading wasn't for me a few months ago. Then I won a free Leeloo Express giveaway. I tried to trade it differently, and it worked. I just got my first payout. Wow. You did? That's amazing. Great to hear. So you got your first payout based on a giveaway on a free Leeloo Express? Can you confirm that? That's awesome. So great to hear. Work Trader says, do you trade every day, Chris? Good question. I do not trade every day. When I started, when I was learning and all that, I was trading like 24/7. Well, let me rephrase that. Let me get back up a little bit. When I started learning, I was putting screen time, not trading, but screen time, every second the market was open. Um, and so, but once I started trading, I was way over trading. Um, and then once I got better and better and better, I trade less and less. So now I trade once, twice, maybe 3 times a week. That's probably pushing it. Maybe on average, I'll say twice a week. I trade. It usually trade for about. This is what my trading looks like. I will go here. Let's see here. Oops. Yeah. So I would open the chart, for example, right now. Let's say I was going to trade. I'm not going to trade now. So I've already in less than 1 second, I already determined that I'm not trading today, and um, I'm closing my platform, and I'm done trading, or that's it. So and the reason because is we're in a sideways market right now. So for the last almost 2 hours, we've been sideways, and sideways meaning we're not making new highs or new lows, or not necessarily new highs, but we're not in an uptrend or downtrend. We're just been sideways. So I don't trade sideways. So right, this is the easy. I turn the computer on, I look at this, and I say, nope, nothing for me today. I'm done. Good day. I'm gonna go do something else. If we were in an uptrend, for example, if we kind of kept this going here, then yes, I would look to trade. Or if we're downtrend, I'll look to trade. But in this case, I would not. So this within 1 second, 2 seconds, I already made a decision that I'm not trading here. So and then we're kind of looks like breaking away from maybe that sideways market, but I need this market to be moving up or down quicker than this, and because of that, I'm not trading. So let's see, where did I leave off here? 1 second, guys, please. All right. Thanks. Apologize for that. So let's see where we left off here. Salah Abayu says it's hard for a beginner to accept this. Yes. Um, it is challenging for new traders to definitely accept, taking it slow and going slow. So yeah, I mean that's part of the struggle, right? And so that's why we're doing this, is to talk and say, hey, look, if you can listen and you can learn from people that have done it, your chances of succeeding just increases, right? So that's how that works. Okay, so let's see here. Let me look at the poll real quick. Who uses the plan demand zones to trade? 44% says I do. 41% says I don't. 15% says I don't know what that is. Okay, pretty good poll. We're pretty even there. 44%, 41%. So about 50% of you guys use it. The other 50 doesn't. Besides that's 50%. So all right. Marty says, nah, I qualified with the Express but lost the PA. I got payout from the 50K LE I had it before. Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. Sorry, I misread that. So cool. Very cool. Congrats on that payout, though. Real exciting for sure. So, all right. So let's see what we got here. All right. So going back to just understanding the budget. Let me see. Where's my. So when you give yourself the most amount of time possible to be able to learn within your budget, it dramatically takes off a lot of stress on being sure you don't run out of your budget, you don't go beyond any of your budget means, as well as understanding that hey, this is a long-term thing, you know. So if you're here and you're thinking this is going to happen overnight, you know, you're in the wrong mindset. So please don't think this is going to be overnight. Okay, so Amadi says one thing though, the 5% rule forced me to take random trades for a few days just for them to not count as flipping. Well, that's the opposite actually. So if you don't do flipping, right, then you don't have to trade. The point of the flipping is to not trade unless you mean if the purpose of the no flipping rule is for you to not go in and just trade to trade. High frequency trader says true. True to what? Sorry. Um, Let me know what you mean on that trading edge. So, all right. So yeah. So good point of view, sir. Everyone. Good questions. Let's see here. Okay, I think we got all the questions people were asking there. I think I answered the question about the favorite account. Any other questions where we're at it? So, mm, let's see. Okay, can you explain what you mean? You say you can't know if the day is gonna be green or red or break even. You're assuming that we know what's going to happen. Who's assuming that, and what do you mean by that? I don't understand that. So if you could explain that, that would be great. Like, what are you talking about? Who are you talking to? And what do you mean? Like, if you're talking to me, did I ever say I assumed? I never know what I'm trading either. So I'm trying to understand your comments there. Among us, Mahadi says, I have a 1-to-1 risk reward means if I one trade and lose the trade, I end up having a dollar, so I have to take another trade. No, you don't. Nope, you do not. Nope. So that's why I told you in the other videos that the flipping rule is something that we review. Um, and so if we see that you take, for example, every day you take one trade, okay, we see that. So it doesn't matter if you make $100,000 or $80. We can see the patterns on that. So so that's nothing to do with that. So that's why I told you in the last videos. Okay, if you're not trading just to go and trade, you don't have to worry about anything. But if you're going in and just to take a trade, then yes, that's when you have to worry. But we can see and we can tell, okay, when you're doing that and when you're not doing that. The computer cannot, so the computer cannot tell. We don't have it programmed in, so that's where we manually review it. But again, if you typically trade one contract, you know, let's say one full contract on the NQ, you know, it doesn't matter what your P&L says. You can break even. We have traders that break even all the time. They get payouts all the time. That's no problem. So, but we can tell based on your history, on your pattern of trading. So, and we can tell if you're going in just for to count as a trading day or not. Yes, the dashboard. Correct. So that's why I told you in the past videos. I encourage everyone here to go back and look at the past videos that I've created that I said just because the dashboard says flipping, it doesn't mean you are flipping. It's just flagging you that we just have to manually review, which, by the way, we review everyone else anyways. But it's just telling you, hey, you're going to get manually reviewed. That's it. So, and let me go to that website real quick. 1 second. Let me log in. Give me a second here. Okay. So, right here, payment subject to staff approval. It doesn't say you're denied. It doesn't say you don't qualify. It just says payout subject to staff approval on the flipping. Okay. So right here, flipping rule payout subject to staff approval. Flipping rules payout subject to staff approval. So this one, for example, 33%, but it's only 1 day, so I know it's kind of weird. But even if you see this, you just need to ask your question. Do I go into a trade to just get a day counted? If the answer is no, okay, then you don't have to worry about it. So, all right. But again, our team is going to review this. And again, I'm not here to talk on individual case by case because everyone's different. All right. But if you got an email from us, you're welcome to respond to that email and we are able to talk through it. But this is not the platform to talk through your individual scenario. Okay. But I'm telling you that we only denied one person, I think, from the flipping. So, for example, I think maybe 2 people, but that was like super obvious that like everyone in the world would agree what they did. Okay. So if you were borderline, we send an email saying, hey, going forward, please be more careful on this, be more mindful, kind of stuff like that. So, but your chances of getting denied for the flipping rule is very, very low, unless that's clearly what you're doing. Okay. So, again, there's a lot of grace and mercy there. All right. So somebody just said, somebody said, Johnny O. Trendell says it would be wonderful if the flip rule percentage increases a bit. So we already kind of have a wiggle room for that. So Johnny O. So again, we use a lot of grace and mercy on this. We say 5%, but we kind of look into the 5% through 10%. But again, it's something that we are very mindful that the goal is okay. We want you to trade. If you're going to trade correctly. Don't just go in and trade just to get a day counted. So, but like I said, this affected very, very few people. So, like I said, don't get freaked out. If you see this, don't freak out. Okay. Now, if you see this and you are kind of concerned because you're like, maybe I am kind of flipping, email us. We can review it together. We can talk to you through it. We can look at it together, tell you, okay, yes, you did this, and that, whatever. So, but again, this doesn't mean you're not approved. Okay, this does not mean you're not approved. This means like, hey, payout is subject to staff approval. That's it. So if you don't have that, if yours looks like this, for example, it's going to get approved pretty much right away, even though we still review it. Just so you know, we review every single payout. So we review every instrument you trade because we're looking for any kind of patterns or anything like that. But those move a lot faster, obviously, than those right here. But it doesn't mean you don't get approved for those. So. All right, let's see where we at. It says, wonderful if the flip rule. Let's see, Muhammad says, okay, that's what I was doing last month, but it still sent me an email saying that I did it. A lot of flipping, which I didn't. Flipping days just won't count as a trading day. Yeah, so for example, let's say that you did do flipping. Okay, let's say that you have, I don't have any good examples here, but let's say I have 16 trading days. and I have some flipping. We just won't count those. So we subtract those flipping days from your 16 days, and that will be your net amount of days. Yep. High frequency says, what's the difference between a flipper and a trader that knows those some days that require only one trade, others require more? So this is where we look at your patterns, right? So if we see that your patterns is that you this is what you do in your patterns, we can see that. So we have a dashboard on our end, internal dashboard, that we can see. It gives us all the data and stats on patterns. So if you tend to do, one day, three full contracts, one day, one contract, three contracts, we have all those patterns that we put all that together. Let's see. Did I answer that? Yep, I answered that. And then Rick says, I took a trade yesterday, but after 1 hour, the market didn't touch my take profit. So I decided to take a $60 loss. Today I saw 7% rules. One day, do I have to worry about that? No, you do not. So that's a great example. No, you traded that account with the intent of trading. So the dollar amount has nothing to do with it. That's what I keep saying. It doesn't matter if you make $0, or if you make $100, or you make $7, or you lose $7. That has nothing to do with it. What we are able to see, for example, Nat, Rick, we are able to see that you traded the instrument that you usually trade. We see that you traded the similar number of contracts you usually trade. We see the time that you were in that trade. We see that you were trading with the purpose of the intent of making money. So no, so don't worry. That's what I'm saying now, Rick. This is not something you need to worry about. Now, it may get flagged. If it gets flagged, don't worry. That's when we look at it and it's all good. Let's see here. Sala says, if I let my position open and market closed, what happened? Well, it depends. If you got a performance account, you need to be sure that it's only up to 3 micros, since you're not allowed to hold more than 3 micros at one time. And and I don't recommend it because the way the market moves, you can reach your trailing drawdown during that shift time, and it could be really bad. TX says it will be possible to request a review of the trades in the PI account before the next billing cycle. Example, the trader has 25 days in the first billing cycle. I need to trade 5 days more in the next billing cycle to ensure the payout is approved. So, TX, just to be honest, we don't have the manpower to do that. Like I said, if you're trading with the purpose of making money, you have nothing to worry about. If you're not doing that, then you are going to have to be worried about it. So, but most likely our team will not be able to do all that. So now, if you have a question about flipping, that's one thing. But regarding coming up to a payout and looking at that we won't have time to do that. Now Rick says, okay, thank you so much, Chris. That's so useful to know. And Hadi says, yes, it just bothers us when we see that bar yellow, and I think, oh man, I need 19 to make up for that. No, yeah. So just ignore that. Like I said, um, like this one, it says 33%, but I've only traded one day out of 3, so obviously it's going to be yellow. So this one is one day out of 19 days, but it's green, but it still says the same wording. Just like I said, it's something we have to answer. Hey, what's up, MTV? Good to see you, bud. It's been a long time. If you're not trying to profit, why trade? Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. If you're going to trade, right? If you're going to trade the markets, you need to, with the purpose of trying to make money. So not just like, oh, I took a trade today just to count. That's super silly, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Let's see. Salah says, so I understand that we can leave our positions 1, 2, 3 micros open for more than 24 hours. Yes, highly. I do not recommend that at all, though. I do not recommend that one bit. You can do it. Don't recommend it. Okay, our poll, we're at 41, and it says, who uses supply demand zones to trade? Yes, I do, 51%. I don't. 37%. I don't know what those are. 12%. So, all right, guys, give me 1 second. Let me answer a few things here. Okay, sorry about that. I appreciate you guys being patient. All right, any other questions? Let's see if I missed anything here. It said 30% consistency. Oh, maybe I did miss some questions. Let me go back here. Good to know you made my day. Yeah, you're welcome. High frequency says, is there 30% consistency for every payout now? What's the upside on Leeloo? What's the upside on Leeloo? Well, so yeah, so let me see if I can answer that. Since Leeloo started, since day one, we've always had trade in a consistent way, no flipping. Okay. In other words, don't just take a trade to take a trade. No home runs, no gambling. And trade like if this was your own account, right? Your personal account. Um, Recently, in the last 3 4 months, traders wanted a hard rule to know exactly what they needed. So to understand what a home run was and all that. So we implemented the 30% rule, meaning that your single your account, your net account balance, 30% of that cannot come from a single day. That's it. So um and traders, that's why they want it. I'm not a big fan of rules, and more rules are not my thing. Jody and I don't like a lot of rules. We kind of keep things smooth and simple. But that's kind of what traders wanted, so we landed on the 30%. Okay. Um, and so, but if you trade in a consistent way that you don't hit home runs, now you may be over a little bit over 30%, then you just have to keep trading until you're below that 30%. So, and then that happens. But, all right, let me see here. What else? Yeah, please don't forget about likes. High frequency trading edge. Not all of them. Now they have an edge enhancer to get rid of that. Yeah, we do have a new edge enhancer when available, that you can buy, um, if you would like, to remove the 30% rule. But that's only going to be available from specific times. So it was available during yesterday's flash sale. So, so yes, good question. So, all right, let me see. Any other questions? I'm trying to I lost my way. Okay, I don't see any other questions. All right, awesome, cool guys. Well, we had a great time together, man. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm gonna end the poll here. So the poll, we got 51% of you says yes, I do. Supply and demand zones. 36% says I don't. With only 12% saying they don't know what those are. So yeah, so good show out today, guys. I appreciate everyone showing up. If you're new to Leeloo, welcome. We're glad you're part of the Leeloo family. If you have any questions, the best way to reach out to us is support at leelootraining.com. Email us from your email. Just go to your email, open your stuff, and just say, hey, email support at leelootraining.com. We'll respond to you and assist you the best we can. Thank you so much for being part of the Leeloo family. I hope you guys have a great day.